and Saquon speed trained twice a week during the season. He was injury free. He had the best year of his life. I texted him one time and I said, leaner, younger, faster. And I think he was all three. And it's just it's just something that I think that, especially in soccer, where you deal with kids a lot, where soccer is like, yeah, but soccer, we have to run 7 miles. Um, it still goes back to being healthy and fast. Every coach I've ever talked to, when I said, describe your best soccer player, they always start off with fast. Second word is explosive, which means highly athletic. They never say, well, they're slow and weak, but they can run all day. They never say that. But that's kind of how soccer kids train, which I think is kind of like detraining the things they need to get better at.
Yeah, and it's also that endurance bucket, it's so full already. And if someone feels they have to improve endurance more, it's like, well, are you guys standing around at practice? You must not be doing anything. So I think they always feel they have to do extra conditioning. And I get a lot of pushback from sports parents, mainly soccer field based sports, where I say, look, I don't program conditioning during the season. That's a risk factor. And they push back and they're like, why not? Like she needs to like last the entire game. And I'm just like, well, as far as injuries, we can't do this. She really needs to work on her speed and stay healthy and do less. And again, it's that struggle of doing less and not adding extra. But then players start to buy in when they see they have long term health. They actually look forward to the workouts. That's one thing my girls tell me all the time. We love speed workouts.
Yes.
They love it.
And kids are really good at what they like.
Yeah, that's true too.
We all are, right?
Yeah.
Like if we take the old school model of sports in America, basically we make, of course, any fool can get another fool tired, but we try to do more and more and more, and we just teach more and more, and we get sloppy, and it's okay because we're getting in shape and all those things. And practice is not fun either when we do that, which, man, if we could make practice more likable, more game like, and like you said just a minute ago, like if your practices don't resemble a game, like what in the hell are you doing in practice? Like if you're not moving and spending 90 minutes or whatever, getting in some play like running, then I don't think you're practicing right. And then, as you know, every soccer kid plays too many games. I mean, they play game after game. And these people that have tournaments, they're not thinking about the health of the kid. It's a money grab. It is they are it is a multi-billion-dollar business in America today, where we have kids come in football 7-on-7 tournaments, or in basketball it's AAU basketball tournaments, and they play way too many games. And it's not because they're developmental. It is literally, that's how they can charge a lot of money. And it's sad because I think kids are getting worse because of it. They're getting hurt more often. And you mentioned speed as being healthy. I think the speed and healthy are the same thing. It's like, if a great barometer of your health is how fast you can run. If you are really slow because of what you did last weekend, you are unhealthy because of what you did last weekend, which means we need to maybe rethink what we do.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it is such a good marker of health, and there must be some ancestral roots that tie back to that or something. But I've definitely seen that with my athletes, just even adding in 1 to 2 times a week of speed in season. And I know you work with a lot of field-based athletes and their teams and coaches, and you always tell coaches, well, let's do this in the warm-up and do it before practice. So, what would that look like? So, maybe the coaches listening can get rid of, excuse my language, their half-assed warm-up where they're just like jogging around the field. Like, what can they do instead to improve speed and keep athletes healthy?
Yeah, the whole idea of a warm up. Was literally the idea that we're going to get our bodies hot. Um, and then also they said to stretch, and of course my track teams haven't stretched for 25 years. A stretch rubber band does not shoot very far. We want to be elastic and springy and explosive. We don't want, yoga makes us feel really good, and yoga is wonderful. But it does not allow us to jump higher or to sprint faster. Matter of fact, if you did yoga and then tested speed or tested jump ability, those things would go down because of stretching. So that's why we don't stretch. And the whole idea that stretching prevents injury is wrong as well. It absolutely has no effect on preventing injury. So what I tell people is stop thinking of it like a warm up and start thinking about it as a speed workout that will serve you well for as a warm up. The counterpoint of that, high school track and field, our coach would tell us to take a mile run before practice, and we were supposed to wear our sweats even if it was like 90 degrees, because that's what a warm up was. It did us no good, but it got us kind of sweaty, and that meant we were warmed up, and then we stretched, and then we went through way too much running at very sub-max race paces, and somehow the fastest guys still were the fastest guys, but everybody was detrained. So getting back to your team situation, what I would do would be stop thinking of it as a warm-up. Look into my atomic speed workout. Doesn't cost anything, where you do 10 speed drills at max intent. So all of a sudden, instead of like jogging, which does nothing for you, maybe even detrains you, these speed drills will actually maybe improve your ability to get on and off the ground, absorb force, get big in the front, short in the back, things that sprinters do that joggers don't. Full use of the arms, which is things that kids need to be taught how to do. So you're doing 10 things of value for about 5 seconds each. Takes 10 minutes. And if you're doing it at a what I call an 11 on the scale of 10, I used to be a big stereo guy back in the 70s. We all were, where you could turn your volume up to 10. Well, we're constantly trying to turn it to 11. We're always trying to do every drill better than we've ever done it. So the intent is so important. Just doing things just does not move the needle. John Wooden said that never mistake activity for achievement. And that's the way, as you know, most warm-ups are. It's just an activity to get people a little bit warmer, but it doesn't do anything to improve your speed or your performance. And then the key thing is to literally time 2 sprints. It can be 2 40-yard dashes, 2 10-yard flies. If you're doing 40-yard dashes, you can time them with a stopwatch and write them down. That way you get some idea about the health of your team. If your team is slow, you need to look in the mirror and say, what have I done to make them slow? Or if a kid is slow, you need to have a talk like, hey, did you not sleep last night? And they'll be like, did you talk to my mom? No, but you're slow. I know that lack of sleep creates slow athletes, unhealthy athletes. So the general picture is you do 10 speed drills in 10 minutes, 2 time sprints with a 5-minute break in between. And if you have a big team, you break them up into like 3 or 4 groups, divide and conquer. And as you said, just doing that twice a week will not only maintain speed, but you'll probably find that your team gets faster during that hard season.